All right. Welcome, everybody, to Master Your Business, Master Your Life Coachathon Day 3. As usual, I'm going to say hello in the comments. Let me know if you're here with me live today as well. Say hi. That's the only way I'm going to know if you're here listening. And as the day 3 of the Coachathon, I'm here really to support you and help you progress in your business this week and most of the next week up till Thursday. Hi, Eva. Thanks for joining. Thanks for coming back. And I'm here to answer your questions and also, again, talk about things that come up for my clients that I coach on, some concepts to change your perspective and help you, again, grow as a leader of your business and progress in your business. And today we're going to talk about action. So yesterday was all about mindset, but mindset is only 50% of success because as we talked yesterday, it's super important. Don't get me wrong. I do not undervalue the power of our mind. This is if we're in the right headspace in a high value thinking and cycle that will drive to action. But also without action, there's no results, right? So action is the other 50%. And there's a few things I want to talk about in terms of action to help you utilize your efforts or your energy you put into taking action in your business and your time the best way possible, because it's very easy to get overwhelmed or to start doing a bunch of actions in your business that are keeping you busy but not necessarily moving the needle forward, getting you closer to signing clients consistently, making money and all that. And know that as your business grows and as you start scaling, the actions you take will be different as well, right? In the beginning, when we're growing our business, we're it all, right? We do everything. And then as we get more resources, we can outsource certain things, we can automate certain things, whatever it takes. So then those actions will differ. And you want to be aware of that. And you want to strategically be reevaluating the actions you take in your business as your business grows, because that's how you scale, right? So the first thing I want to talk about actions is that high value actions versus low value actions. And those of you who are in my newsletter and email list, maybe you've read the email today. If not, I want to encourage you to read it. That came out today. But low value actions are the actions that are not directly related to us making money in our business and getting clients and so on. But those might be actions that when our mindset is low, right? So we're in a kind of low thinking, we don't believe in ourselves, we have that negative chatter going on, our brain starts directing us either to procrastination and no action at all, or it starts directing us to actions that feel comfortable, that feel safe. And we touched upon it a little bit yesterday. Hi, Shelly, welcome. It could be actions in your business like administration or doing accounting or maybe improving something on the operational side. It could be blogging or hanging out with your peers, some accountability groups or whatever it could might be. But when you truly think about it, they're not directly getting you out there, talking to potential clients, gaining visibility, and so on, right? And as I said, especially in the beginning where your priority is to make certain amount of money and to grow your audience and get certain clients, certain amount of clients, so then you can kind of relax and do other things or figure out how you can get help, how you can hire help and so on. Those actions just slow you down, right? So you want to be clear on which actions are high value for you in your business right now that you're doing or not doing, and which actions that you might be doing right now actually don't serve you, and maybe you shouldn't be doing them at all, or at least not for now. Okay. And that's, for example, what I do with my clients when we establish their goals and establish their vision and align the vision and the goals with the actions. That's the way we make sure that whatever they're doing in their business is high value, right? So I have the process of Diamond Effect, where it's really a three-step process, but it ensures that alignment, right? It goes from, okay, what am I all about in my business? What is my mission? What are my values? What's true to me, right? I want to show myself authentically. And then once I know that, then I want to get super clear on my client and how can I deliver value to my client from before I meet them in order to attract them, to when I'm start meeting them in my marketing and sales, to when they become the clients and after. And I have a concept that's called lead with value, and I'll teach you that during especially in marketing and sales. I'll talk about it during my next webinar in April, how to sign clients consistently without ads or DMs. So I'll talk more about that. But the clarity that you gain in that process, or we gain with my clients, allows us to then be very specific and very clear what actions they're going to take in terms of marketing, their intentional marketing strategy, in terms of serving their clients, in terms of nurturing the relationships with current clients or past clients or whatever, right? And then we create simple action plan that teaches them high performance habits and that allows them to focus just on that and not waste a bunch of time on doing things that keep them busy, but not really moving forward, right? So that's how you are not productive, when you're doing a bunch of stuff that just keeps you busy and drains your energy, but it's not moving you forward, okay? So the one thing I want to say for today is really, truly take time. It's worth it. If you sit through and start thinking, the actions that I'm taking right now in my business, are they the high value actions that are moving me forward towards the goals that I want to achieve, or are they not? And if they're not, then deciding not to do them or outsourcing them if they're important, or spending less time doing them and increasing the time on doing high value actions. Now, if you have some mind drama around it, so for example, you're scared, you don't like sales and marketing, then of course you need to get a coaching, and you have an opportunity here today and tomorrow and Friday and next week to get coaching around it. So your brain starts thinking in more possibility and more of that high value thinking to get you to do those actions. Okay, so number one, high value actions, you want to be clear on what they are, and you want to do more of them, not less of them, within the time that you have for your business. Okay, because they are the ones who will sign you clients. They're the ones that will make you money. Once you start making money, it's much easier to sort of buy yourself some time by outsourcing certain things, getting help, automating stuff, paying for things, and so on, right? Then the second thing is that related is planning, right? So planning your actions ahead of time, knowing ahead of time what they are, what they should be, and planning them as you do them also saves time. It calms down your brain. Okay, when I was talking to one of my clients not that long ago, is that when you don't know ahead of time what you're going to do, or you have a project coming up and you haven't planned it out, all your brain does, because you've made a commitment to the client, or you've made a commitment to certain things, but you haven't planned out, your brain wants to make sure that you meet that commitment, right? As human beings, we want to be honorable. We want to honor our words. So when your brain doesn't know when you're going to meet that commitment, even if it's with yourself, because like, oh, I should be marketing my business, right? It keeps thinking about it all the time. And that creates a lot of anguish and drains a lot of energy. If you think about, how much time you might be wasting thinking about, oh my God, I need to do this, and I need to do that, and I need to do this. If you really track that, it's a lot of time and energy. So what planning does, it tells your brain, okay, I'm going to do it here. I'm going to do it here. I'm breaking up that project and so on. And your brain automatically relaxes, because for it, it thinks like, okay, I will meet my commitment. I know exactly when I'm going to do those things and so on. Okay. And I know that you might be thinking that planning, like a lot of people undervalue planning, and they say, oh, it's not worth the time. I'm too busy. I don't have time to spend, 30, 45 minutes a week to plan, or I'm going to put myself in a box and then, I don't like that, or it's not flexible to plan and so on. But I want to offer that you're in charge and in control of your business. You're in charge and control of your schedule, and you can always change the plan, right? Your decision. What plan does, it forces you to intentionally make that decision, right? To decide once and kind of figure out, and there's many other, how do you say? I'm missing the word. There's many other pluses or to planning that I often share, and you can go to Diamond Effect podcast. I think I have a episode there, the case for planning, and in there I'm sharing all the benefits. That's the word I was missing, benefits of planning. But here today, I just want to talk about that it truly calms your brain down, and that you're in control and charge of your plans. You can always change them, right? But when you change them, you're not always changing the whole thing. You might shift a couple of things around, and it's so much easier to do than having a plan in your brain, or you think you do, and your brain constantly, it's almost like you were constantly rebooting the computer or watching the movie from the beginning. You got to like 30 minutes of the movie, and then you're like, oh, I have to watch it again from the beginning to get to the another 45 minutes. And you're like just wasting that time, because in order to get to the end of the movie, you need to rewind all the time and watch from the beginning many, many times, just because you haven't planned that, if that makes sense. Okay, so another thing that I'm passionate about planning, and I even like sort of included in my coaching model. So as you know, and those of you who've seen the journal, it says dream, plan, do, right? Because I truly believe that dreaming is having the ideas, right? And having our goals and passions and believing in them, having the right mindset. Then once you do that, you can go into planning. Okay, what are the high value actions that I need to take in order to achieve those goals? And when I'm going to take those actions based on my situation, whether I have a job or not, maybe I have a family, right, that I want to take care of. So again, it's not about planning to work 24/7. It's about planning and arranging your business in a way that fits your lifestyle, that you create also the life that you want as you run your business, and not wait and tell yourself, oh yeah, I will have my life when I start making X amount of money in my business, and that's going to be in 5 or 6 years. No, you want to start doing that now, right? And then once you have it, the execution, the do part of the model is so much easier, right? So we don't want to get from idea to doing right away, because you're missing on a lot of opportunity to save time. You're giving yourself a lot of stress by not planning and so on. So when you plan and then you take action, you're already ahead of the game for many people, okay? And then when you execute, when you take action with high value intentional actions, planned out. And then you even have some other good habits that then with the mindset also that's elevated, that's lives in possibility, you become like a superhuman, super productive, super creative. You come up with the solutions and so on, right? So give me some stuff in the comments. Eva, Shelley, let me know. Hi, Jana. Thanks for joining. I want to see what are your thoughts. If you have any questions, Jana, you have an amazing journal. I'm ahead of the game. Yes, you are, Jana, because I know you're using it. And then one last thing about actions is that our brain, we tend to, especially for, let's just rewind, especially for projects or for things that we've never done before, or some big things we want to accomplish, like, reach certain goals in our business, or create certain things in our business, or accomplish certain projects, we usually tend to underestimate the amount of work and time usually it's going to take us to get the results we want, okay? And how it works is because our brain usually overestimates what we can do in a week or in a day. That's why many people overschedule themselves, especially when they don't plan with the calendar, right? They think, oh yeah, I can do it. And then by Wednesday, they're already overwhelmed and they're realizing they're not getting to like even a half of their to-do list. And they're like, feel like I don't have enough time and so on. And it's not they don't have enough time. They are just not planning properly. They're overscheduling themselves. But we also tend to underestimate the amount of what we can accomplish in a longer period of time. So in a year or in 2 and 3. And that kind of like battles with each other, that our own under and overestimation, depending on the period of time. Planning prevents from that, just saying. But when you do things, or when you, let's say, start, the best example is probably when you started your business and you were excited and you were thinking like, you were looking at the people maybe in the industry who are already way ahead of you, who were sharing, their successes and how well it's going and how fast they're signing clients and so on. You probably thought, oh, that's going to be me. I'm going to, run my business for a month and or 2 or 3 and make certain amount of dollars. Some people think, oh, I'm going to go from 0 to million in a year and so on, right? Because our brain cuts out, or, people who we follow don't necessarily always share the journey that it took them to get there, right? The momentum they had to build to get to certain speed of gaining certain amount of clients right now, right? Whatever the rate is now wasn't the rate that they had 10 years ago or 15 years ago or even 5 years ago, right? Because there's a compound effect of our actions and momentum that we build that works really fast when it gets enough speed. Then we underestimate, or we sometimes don't see that beginning stages. And that's why, okay, if you read the book by Grant Cardone, 10X Rule, if you haven't, I highly recommend, where Grant Cardone shows you that whenever we embark on a big project to achieve something big, we should 10X our estimations of the amount of effort and time it will take us to get there, okay? So if you're maybe in your business thinking like, oh, maybe stuff is not working, I've been trying hard and so on, and you're getting discouraged, it might be because you're underestimating the amount of time that it really realistically will take you to get where you want to be, whether it's in a smaller project or in a larger scale in your business. And you're also might be underestimating the amount of effort and even personal growth in skill and in mindset that you need to do in order to get where you want to get, okay? And we'll talk a little bit more about that tomorrow when I'll talk about self-development and growing yourself as a leader in order to grow your business. But that's sometimes what it takes, right? So it's a good rule, and not even to 10x, but let's just say if you're working on a new project and you're thinking like, okay, I'm going to, I don't know, create these assets in my business, or I have a new client and I need to onboard them, or I want to have certain amount of members or certain amount of sales. Okay, unless you have your sales numbers down to the science and your business is like more advanced and you really know, okay, if I do this, this is how much I'm earning, then that's great. But in the beginning, when you learn that, you might want to at least double the amount of time or effort or action that you will require in order to achieve the goal you want to do, right? Grant Cardone says 10x it. I say again, it really depends on where you are and how, whether you're optimistic by nature in your estimations or maybe under optimistic. Some people are really conservative, right? So that 10x rule, I would say, doesn't apply to every situation, everybody. It's somewhere in the middle. But you might want to reevaluate your estimations. Okay, Shelley. Planning is definitely not a strong point of mine. I tend to keep things in my brain. I just said this morning to my husband, I wonder what's like that to have an organized brain. Shelley, it's not, if you put things on paper, you start planning, that's how you get organized brain. When you keep things in your brain, think about it this way, okay? I'm going to give you a good example. 2 examples. It's like your thoughts are almost like, let's say necklaces. I don't have a necklace today, but your thoughts could be like necklaces, right? And let's say you keep them in a box, that's your brain. And as I said, we have 80,000 thoughts a day, right? If you don't pull some of them out onto paper and you don't organize them, you just keep adding them. So then it becomes this like huge ball of like mixed up thoughts that it's harder and harder to unwind, right? If you have tools to work on your mindset, but also move some of that by organizing them in a way saying, okay, I will deal with this here and this here and this here, you're taking away, you're slowly chipping away from that pile. So that's one visual. Another visual I can give you is really like a computer, right? The more windows you open, the slower it goes. It becomes, the performance is not as good because it has too much going on. You need to close certain windows or sometimes even upgrade the operating system. And that's the personal growth that we'll talk about tomorrow. But even without upgrading the operating system, you have to close some of the windows. You can't just keep adding to them, right? And some of it can be done through planning, some of them, of course, by completing things, okay? So I just want to offer that an organized brain, it's not something that you just get or don't, or you're born with or not. It's really just having some good habits to help your brain operate at the highest level possible, and it's available to everybody. You too should. Okay, you're not good about not comparing myself to others. I always say comparison is the thief of joy. Yes, especially if you use comparison against yourself. Thought about that. I think I've sent that email on Saturday. This is the one where I will tell you nobody's perfect. I was planning to send it on last Friday and my scheduler, I don't know how I scheduled it, but it came out on Saturday, that email, where I'm talking about using other people's successes and stories to help you and not against yourself. So very often we actually use it against ourselves when we start comparing ourselves, whether it's the people that we follow on social media, whether it's people around us, whether it's people in the same groups, in the same networks. First of all, if you're seeing that there are some people that whenever you look at them and so on, it's just like you're not yet in the space where you can be happy for them and not compare yourself and use it against yourself, unfollow those people. Okay. And it's not like you don't like them or it's bad, just unfollow other people in your industry who maybe you look up to, but every time you look at their posts, it just brings you down. Okay. I call it like torturing yourself, right? Don't torture yourself through others people's posts if you can avoid it. And unfollow them in the beginning, even if it's under the beginning, for you to then focus on growing your business, focus on growing your confidence, and get to the point where those posts don't bug you anymore, right? So that's one advice. The second advice is switching the mindset of looking at somebody else's success and using it for you, not against you, and just really remembering that they're human and probably their journey wasn't easy, because yes, we tend to believe that all the others who have succeeded somehow had it easier than us, and we're the only ones who don't sign clients fast enough or don't make the money fast enough, and that we're only failing and nothing is working, and then everybody else, whatever they do, it works for them 100% of the time. I can guarantee none of that is happening. Yes, some people grow faster than others, some of it because they invest in themselves and they grow, they get mentors, they get coaches, they work on their mindset and so on, right? But it doesn't mean they don't fail either. And some people grow slower because they don't invest in themselves, or maybe it's their situation or whatever. There's many different factors that really, you would need to consider and know somebody's journey to understand. But ultimately, nobody has it easy. No matter what, everybody encounters certain challenges. It's just the way they deal with it is different, right? But understanding that and knowing that if you're committed and you do, to growing your business and you will do it strategically, you will get there as well. So using their success as an example of what's possible for you. Because ultimately, none of us is smarter or better or has more money or more connection. It's really just having a strong why, believing in yourself, knowing where you need to grow in order to achieve what you want, doing the work to grow, right? Working also on your mindset to allow you to do the work so your mind doesn't talk you out of it, and then taking action, and you will get where you want to get. I believe that truly 100%. Okay. So that's the teaching for today about action. You want to make sure that most of the actions you take in your business, or the high value actions that are driving you towards your goals, and not kind of busy type of actions. Okay. You want to plan them. You want to get your brain less mixed up, less tangled, and give it space and some calm by planning, right? And you want to be optimistically conservative, let's just call it this way, right? You don't want to be doom and gloom, I'll never get there, but optimistically conservative in the amount of time and effort certain things take. So then you don't beat yourself up if in a day or 2 or 3 or a week you don't get the results you hoped for, because it might just need to be, you need to do it longer, right? So other success stories gives me more confidence that it can be done. That's right. That's right. Okay. Any questions, ladies? Is there anything you want to be coached on today, or anything you're working on in your business this week that you're like, oh, I want to ask a question. I want to get a perspective. I'm going to wait a couple of minutes here to see. Okay, Shelly's on her way home after food show. Oh yeah, you were saying that. You were saying that. You need to tell us all about it. All right then. Thank you for joining. Have a fantastic rest of your day and see you tomorrow at 1:30 Eastern. Thanks, everybody. Bye.